Good morning again. This is take two. I did a whole video then and I thought, oh, this is awesome, and I've lost it. So maybe that's in relationship to my title, I've lost myself. So if you did happen to catch the first video, awesome. I don't know where it's gone. It's disappeared in Facebook land. So anywho, and I was outside enjoying the sun as well. I wanted to do a chat with you all today about something that I see come up a lot, and that is that whole sense of I've lost myself. Now, what's brought this about is I was having a conversation with a couple of mums at school after we dropped the kids off, and we started talking about, you know, what we as a group of women observe with our friends and our family. And I know I have a whole heap of experience specifically with this one topic, because so many women come to me, particularly, you know, when their kids are starting to get a little bit older, so the kids maybe have their own lives a little bit, they're at school, they've got friends of their own, they've got a whole heap of activities for themselves, and then mum all of a sudden feels like she's lost herself. She's allocated and dedicated so many of her years to raising these little individual human beings, and bit by bit, gradually, she loses touch of who she is. And then all of a sudden, the kids are out there living their life, and she's left going, well, who am I now? And what does that mean for me? Now, I know there's a few of you online now, so welcome to everyone who is joining me. And if this is resonating with you, then I've got some suggestions that will hopefully help you to start to identify who you actually are outside of those couple of roles that you define yourself as right now. So you could be a mum who has kids that are growing up and, you know, going through that empty nester phase, which a lot of my clients tend to be at. So you're losing sight of you there. Or you could possibly be a businesswoman who has allocated so much of her time and effort into building something for herself, a business, that she has lost who she is outside of the business role. Good morning, and thank you so much for the comments, girls. So if I've lost myself is something that you can resonate with, then stay tuned. Now, the suggestion that I have for you is going to require you to give yourself a little bit of time. Now, straight off the bat, I know one of the first obstacles that you're going to come up against is guilt. Guilt, or the perception that it is selfish for you to put yourself first. Now, if this is the case, I want you to recognize that guilt is just an emotion that you can disconnect from, okay? In order for you to disconnect it, though, you need to see it and you need to acknowledge it. So simply recognize, I'm feeling guilty. Can you validate the guilt? Or can you reject it? Now, validating the guilt would go, well, it's right for me to feel guilty because I haven't done enough for my kids and I haven't done enough for my business. So yes, I'm going to hang on to this guilt. It's healthy for me to hang on to it. And I know that most of you are going to be going, not going to do that. Rejecting the guilt is being able to rationalize it by simply saying, I gave the best of me this morning. So I'm going to give myself permission to give myself 15 minutes today to explore who I am. And that simple validation or rejection of guilt is going to enable your brain to go, okay, she's seen it, she's acknowledged it, now move on. Once you've done that, I'm then going to suggest you start exploring the things that make you happy, okay? The people that you love spending time with, list them down. I know your kids are going to be there. I know your partner's going to be there. Maybe you'll have clients there. That's great. Go beyond that, okay? Those friendships that maybe you've lost touch with because you've got too busy. List those things down. What activities make you happy? What are the things that you used to do before you lost who you are that you don't do anymore? Is it creativity? Maybe you're into photography or writing or reading. Maybe you love to go to the movies and you haven't done that. One of the mums that I was talking to earlier this morning recognized that because her kids are all now at school, she wants to reconnect with her husband. And so she spent last year building up her fitness, and now her and her husband go out there and they do things together that they both love. So they're building their relationship, and that in turn is giving her a sense of self. So that is so awesome. And I love hearing when women do that because they're prioritizing themselves. So what are the things that you love to do? Now, once you've got this list, and this is a very, I don't want to say shallow version of the activity, but it kind of is because we're just touching on the surface. But once you have the list of things that make you happy, I'm then going to ask you to look at them objectively and give them a current rating of satisfaction. So if you loved to do a particular sport before kids and you no longer do it, but you know that it brings you joy, how satisfied are you with how that shows up in life right now? If it's a low scores are great because you can improve them very quickly without a lot of effort. So give them a current level of satisfaction. Now, this exercise may be confronting for some of you because when you've got this list of things that are important to you and you recognize that it's not actually showing up in life, you can then see why you are feeling so lost. You can identify why you're feeling so disconnected, because although you're giving your all to family and friends and your business, there is nothing left for you. And this is why you're feeling lost. So when you've got that realization, and yes, it's a bit of confronting, I know that, it's a pivotal point for you though, to be able to say, well, I deserve better than that. And I want more for me than just that. So when you've got the list, what's something that you can do today from that list that starts to fill you back up? Pick one activity, give yourself half an hour to spend time in that activity, and then enjoy it. Go and make that phone call to that girlfriend that you haven't spoken to for a million years because you've both been too busy, and connect with her and feel that heart-to-heart connection that comes from having a conversation with someone that you love, that is not obligated, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So it's a very surface level activity, like I said. There is a whole heap more that goes into why these things are not showing up for you as often as you'd like them to. And if you want to explore it further, then this is hands down one of my favorite things to do for clients. And I truly do believe it's a pivotal point for women to start rebuilding and creating the life that they want for themselves when they know what's important to them and when they start making decisions that align with these particular things. So I hope that's been of help. I can see there's a whole bunch of you online, which is super, super cool. If any of you do have comments that you would like to share, please feel free to do so. If there's something that you recognize right now that you need to go and do for you, then you know what I'm going to encourage you to do? Own it. Okay? Put it down there and declare it to the world that you're going to give yourself half an hour to do this activity today, and then make it happen. You ultimately control how you spend your time. And yes, there are non-negotiable activities that we all have. We all have jobs that we have to go to. We all have work that we have to get done. There's times that we have to pick up kids, times that we drop kids off. There are non-negotiable activities within your day, but you do have fluidity there as well. And it's up to you how you choose to spend that time. Now, you can allow the time just to slip through your fingers and disappear, and then tomorrow becomes the next day, and the next day becomes the day after that, and all of a sudden you're in next week and nothing has changed. Or you can actually take ownership of that fluid time and start doing something that makes your heart sing. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it as well. Slipping back into my little female brain thing, while you're doing these activities, pay attention to your head talk, okay? Because that sabotaging head talk is going to try and convince you that what you're doing is wrong. It's going to try and add the guilt. It's going to try and add that sense of worthlessness if that is a habit that your head talk has. So pay attention to what you're telling yourself as a result of doing these activities. And when you are ready to let it go, when you're ready to address the head talk and replace it with these long-term healthy habits, then get in touch. There is a whole heap of resources that I can point you to. There's the 9-week program, Own Your BS, which is going to give you the strategies to get a grip on the head talk so you control it rather than it controlling you, or ultimately we could work together one-on-one. Either way, you have choices. And if you do nothing else today except identify what is important to you and then start following that through, then you're going to be giving yourself a beautiful, beautiful gift. So have a great day, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. And thanks for the comments, girls. Bye.